coming into tonight, right, with the Bucks down 3-1 to the Indiana Pacers and all the talk of Giannis is leaving, Giannis is gone. Certainly it doesn't look great for the Bucks' future because Damian Lillard now might be out for all of next year as well with the Achilles tear coming back from. You feel so bad for the guy because coming back from where he was and not getting to a, quote, real contending team until late in his career. So things are going to be a little difficult, right? Things are going to be a little tough. Giannis's future, okay, but I always thought, you know what? He's not going to leave now. He's not going to force a trade. He's got a contract for another 3 or 4, 3 more years. And okay, it's going to be an offseason where the Bucks have to say, okay, once again, we have to go get somebody because we don't know if Damian Lillard's out. But after this collapse of a 7-point lead in the final 40 seconds, to lose to the Pacers, to get eliminated by turning the ball over ridiculously badly twice in the final 35 seconds. This is where I say, if it's like the Bucks want Giannis to say, I'm out. I don't want to stay. I can't stay here. If anything is going to push Giannis out to say, I need out, I want to be dealt, I want to be traded, what we saw tonight, 100%, that's what it is.
When it fails spectacularly, you're going up against the heated rival, and it's good that we actually have that we can say with great confidence in the NBA, because normally the criticism is, everybody gets along, everybody likes each other. No, these teams hate each other. So we knew we were going to get some fireworks as it goes out, and with Lillard's injury opening the door to, all right, they're going to go out easy. No, they didn't. Because they get out to that 30-13 lead that first quarter, a blistering pace, and like, all right, we got some fight left in these Bucks for Doc Rivers. Down 3-1, hey, he's got a chance.
Down 3-1, yeah. Up 3-1, no chance. But down 3-1, yeah, look at Doc.
Maybe he can push the right buttons here. And instead, we see this epic collapse in overtime, building the big lead, and then a comedy of errors followed by post-game fireworks and the celebration line and chaos. But, yeah, coming into this game, a lot of it seemed fait accompli, and you start running the math and doing the numbers as to how you work everything going forward, that they're just in a no-win situation to try to augment this roster around Giannis to where the best thing would seem to be to cut ties and hit a massive reset button. And obviously Frostberg's already trying to order his Giannis Lakers jersey.
No, it's in the cart.
No. You've already made the GIF with Giannis as a Laker. You sent it to me today a couple of times.
I already texted Shaq to let him use his jersey number.
I hope he goes full Lawrence Taylor and says, beat it.
Can't wear it. Look, I mean, you blow a 7-point lead with 40 seconds left to go.
It was really special stuff.
I mean, you had missed free throws, you had 2 turnovers. This is bad. And look, I've always want to say, hey, keep your superstar, stay. You're the number one. You won a title there, but you know what? You've maxed out, man. Giannis has maxed out in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has turned into a mess. They're a mess because they made changes they thought was going to result in a championship team. Now you're without Damian Lillard, who's going to be gone for most of next year. Who knows when he comes back? Who knows what the team is going to be? You wonder everything you can, but if you're Giannis, you're like, am I really going to win if I stay? He's got to get to that point in his career. You mentioned Shaq, where Shaq got to where he said, you know what? I've been having fun. I've been a dominant player, but I know I want my legacy to be cemented. I don't want to be one of those, oh, yeah, he won a championship. No, I know. So I'm going to the Lakers, and look, won 4 championships, right? Won 3 with the Lakers, 1 with the Miami Heat, and of all the players in the history of the game, Shaq's legacy maybe is the most secure. And Giannis has to get to that point too, right? Kevin Durant did the same thing. Hey, I was in Oklahoma City. We made it close. We made it to the finals once, got boat raced. I have to go. I know I want my legacy to be something that is better than what it is right now. So he goes to the Golden State Warriors. They win a couple of titles. Probably would have won a third if he didn't blow out his Achilles. And so, yeah, I went and secured my legacy. No matter what, I did it. Giannis has to get to that point too. And look, I'm not saying, oh, hey, Milwaukee is awful, but you had a great run with him, and you got to the top of the mountain, and you won a title a couple of years ago, and it was a tremendous accomplishment. But Giannis has to look at this and say, I'm 30 years old. I've seen the best part of my career. I don't know how many more peak years I have left, maybe 4 or 5. He's a bigger player, obviously, being 6'11 and 250. So how many more years does he have until his skill? Because, skills erode on big men much earlier. How many more years do I have? Can I wait 2 more years in Milwaukee to try to figure this out, 2 of my last peak 4 years, or do I need to go someplace else? And the answer is, especially after this, and I'm saying, no, you can be emotional. You can say, I want out. I'm done. It's not working here. We're going in the wrong direction. And this should be the exclamation point that if you're Giannis, it tells you, this is when I knew I had to leave. If anything was at the end where if I was questioning myself, do I do it? Do I not? I don't know. Losing this game like this, with the mistakes at the end of the game, this is what tells you, okay, you know what? This is the last straw. This pushes me over the top. Giannis needs to ask out. There needs to be a big looking into this offseason. How do we move on? Where do we move Giannis to? Could be the Lakers, right? Could be the Knicks,
I mean, you don't think he wants to team up with Luka?
Yeah, of course. But maybe straight up for Mikal Bridges, that could work.
Well, because you also have to convince Luka that he wants to stay too.
Yeah, well, Luka just gave $5,000
yeah, no, I get
to
that.
pay for Kobe to redo Kobe's mural in downtown LA. I think he's staying.
I really just wanted to throw a wrench into all of this of saying that that's not a guarantee.
But you have to. I mean, this is where if you're Giannis and you say, okay, this is my legacy, my career. We've got to the top. We had great times. It was an awesome run, and we won a title. But it's just not happening. And the next 4 years are going to be the best 4 years I have, and I got to be someplace where I can win. I keep going out in the first round. There keeps being different iterations of the team. Oh, we're going to do this instead. We're going to make a trade. We're going to trade this guy here. We're going to go get Damian Lillard. And none of it has worked. None of it is getting you out of the first round. None of it's getting you any closer to a title. If you're Giannis in the offseason, you have to say, hey, let's do this really well. Let's do this I'm not going to throw you guys under the bus. Let's not do this in the press. But hey, let's make this amicable as we can. Move me. I need you to move me. Don't make it bad, because I'll make it bad. And if you say no, I'll make it bad, because we know the NBA is a star-driven league. Stars get what they want, right? I'm just going to hold my breath and pout. We watch James Harden happen to him. It happens to all bunch of guys. But if I'm Giannis, I say, look, let's keep this amicable. I really need a new start. I need to go somewhere else. If you make it bad, I can make it bad, but let's go. Let's do this amicably. And the Bucks, you had your chance. You had your time. It's not getting any better. You need to move on. And Giannis should be on another team for the beginning of next year.
Had their championship win, then you lose in the Eastern Conference semifinal, and now you got 3 straight first-round losses. So you probably excise the coach, and Doc Rivers moves into whatever the next phase of his career is. But from a roster perspective, you're cash strapped. You made the move to get Lillard, and you brought in Kuzma, who had a big deal. All of that to say, moving forward for Giannis, even with these gaudy numbers, I mean, statistically, just really one of the more ridiculous series you see. 33, 15.4, 6.6 assists per game, shot 61% from the field, go on the line, and you're not nowhere near enough against the Pacers. A good but not great team. And that should be the thing that gets underscored here. It's not that you went and lost to what looks like a juggernaut and a deep squad in Cleveland, or a squad that's assembled that you just say, well, we probably didn't have a puncher's chance. No, here you got eliminated pretty quickly. And obviously between Lillard's illness and now this injury, you didn't have the full workload and anticipation of what this series could be, but you don't have that going forward while you're still committed to that money on the books. So you're hamstrung in terms of the moves you can make to make this any better. So for Giannis, yeah, Shaq is known for 2 things, right? He was still the big Shaqtus and all of those things, and was a vagabond the final years of his career. The time he's in Cleveland, then he's in Boston, Phoenix, all of those things. You don't want to become that guy, because that does take away from some of those titles. But your point is still well taken, is that you're still in the prime of your career if you're Giannis. So sputtering to first round exits year after year is certainly not how you anticipate the rest of your career going. Loyalty is great to a point.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't fault him for, look, I stayed, and then after we won a couple of years later, I kept staying. I said, okay, you went out and got play. Okay, great. But it just hasn't worked.
Right,
This is nobody's fault. This is nobody's fault, right? I thought when they got Damian Lillard, the Bucks are going to run the East for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, we talked about it even leading
Lillard's been waiting
towards
for this.
the playoffs, that they were potentially a dangerous team if things broke right.
Yeah.
And quite clearly, everything that could go wrong did.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault them. They went out and got the best player they could to beat Giannis's 1A, and it just hasn't worked. And you can't tell Giannis, what if we get you a new coach? No. You tried that a couple of times already. Didn't work. Didn't work.
And you can't tell me Giannis didn't have an invisible hand in some of that movement as well.
Oh, of course. But there's nothing you can say if you're Milwaukee that's going to convince him to say, yes, I'm going to buy in to stay. Who are we going to get? I don't know. What's the deal with Damian Lillard? I don't know. Are we going to get out of the first round? That's our goal. Okay, not enough. Not good enough.
Right,
not
that
enough.
can't be the goal.
No.
I mean, that's the Knicks' goal.
Yeah, this should be Giannis. Where Giannis gets traded should be the number one topic of conversation once the NBA Finals end. Where is he going to end up? How are they going to facilitate this deal? How does it happen? Different sources, reports from Shams or anybody else over the course of the month leading up. This is what it should be, because really, and then you're throwing in guys like Embiid, who probably should be on the trading block too. Other big players are going to be out there, but this should be the Giannis offseason, because he's signed for the next few years. So okay. And that helps a team because they know what they're paying for him. So it's not like, well, we don't know what we got to pay. No, we can make a great trade because you got him for the next 3 years. You can give us these assets. This is how we can make it work in Milwaukee, because it's done. It's hit its natural conclusion. Is the best way to look at it. Is that sometimes endings are abrupt, sometimes endings are pushed by one side. Maybe it ends too early, maybe it ends too late, but sometimes things just end, and this is a natural conclusion. This is a natural end of this relationship.
Well, and it's got the much longer tail than perhaps it even should have, right? When we talk about coaching changes and the number of times we've seen teams turn the page on a coach the year after they've won a Coach of the Year award. They don't get that long run.
Yeah.
Here, Giannis gave them a 4-year launching pad after a title. It's reached its natural endpoint, because now you're chasing other teams that have risen in conference that aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
When someone goes to college and freshman and graduates and it hasn't gotten better, okay, so it's 4 years. You've had 4 years. That's
good run.
4 years.
Yeah.